Hi, we're here for I think our third lesson on the embroidery unit and machine. And so I wanted to show you some things. I want to show you some things in editing and how you can maneuver and get around in there. But the first thing I wanted to show you is if you go over to your oval, which is your hoop area, and well, let me get out of there. I'll go over here to the hoop. No, not there. There. And do you see these three P? It says P. There's one with crosshatch, then there's one that has an arrow up, and there's one that has an arrow to the left. If I push the one, and that's why this arm is like that, because I had pushed the left, the arrow to the left, and it parked my arm so that I could put on my embroidery unit, my table. If, let's say your bobbin ran out, and I'm going to take my table off, and I'm going to be in the design. So we're there, and let's say I wanted to start, I was starting to sew, which sets up my my arm for the embroidery, and it's telling me to put on an embroidery hoop, so I will, and I'll check there. Now I'm going to the oval, the hoop again area, and I'm going to push the second one. And what that's going to do is that if your bobbin runs out and I push that, it moves my hoop out of the way so that I can get into the bobbin area, which is really a good thing, kind of cool. And another thing is, and then I can push that and it takes it right back to the center. Okay? But again, I'm going to put my table on because I like the table. So now my arm is here. I need it over. So I'm going to push it to the left. And then I'm going to put my table back on. All right. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to get out of here. And I'm going to go back here. And we'll go back here. Actually, we'll go there. So let's say I want to pick out a design. So I can go right in here to the butterfly. And I went, I think here. No, it wasn't that one. So we'll just go back a folder.
The tree.
Was it the tree? Yes, there it is. And I had the pumpkin. I had picked the pumpkin. And so that I went in there and I picked that design. Well, I kind of would like to put some lettering in there. So I'm going to go into this plus sign, and I'm going to go back here, and I'll go into the alphabet, and let's say I'm going to put in autumn. A, U, where's the T? T, U, M-N, right?
Mm-hmm.
M-N. All right, so I spelled out autumn. I'm going to hit plus. Now I've got autumn in there. Now you can see that that's going to be too big for the hoop. So let's change the hoop size. So we're over here. I'm going to go in here, and let's put it to the oval hoop. Now it fits in. There's no red line around. I can close out of there. Now, I don't want that laying on top of that, so I'm going to go into my information button, and I am going to move the autumn. So that's what's highlighted right now. I touch the autumn in this line, and I'm going to touch this, and I'm going to move it up. Okay, and that looks kind of fairly good. And now I'm going to touch the pumpkin. number 1 of the design, and I'm going to move that down. Okay. So I've added something to the design. I've moved them around to where I want. Now I can go and I'm going to touch this very bottom one. I have 1 is a pumpkin, 2 is autumn. The bottom one is, it combines them all to stitch out as the one. Okay? Now we can go out of there. I'll go back to the eye. So let's say I wanted to rotate this design. I can go right over here and I can rotate that. And I can go 90 degrees, and I can go 90, 90, or 90. I can also rotate it just a little bit of what maybe I would want. Now you see it turned red, so that's saying that won't fit in there. So I could go over here, and I could choose a bigger hoop. Then I can go back in to the changing the where it is. Let's get out of there. No, don't do that. Don't want that. That should. Okay. Now I'm on changing the area of it, and it's changing the size again. Shouldn't do that. Okay. Well, we're gonna go like that. So anyway, it's with the this symbol, you can change where it is. I can also go in here, I can clear that. It's up and down, and then that's also, I can touch that, and now I can move it. Do you see how I can adjust to an angle? If I were going to put it on a towel or maybe a collar or something like that, I can adjust the angle of it just by increments and get it to fit in where I want it to be. So I can clear that because I don't want to do that. And I'm going to go back to the eye. So we moved it. This moves it. The width design moves it to the right or to the left. The length knob moves it up or down. So that is how you get there. Then I can touch here to say, hey, I want it in the center. So that's what we did. We centered the whole thing. All right. This one is my resizing. Now I can, if you see the white box around that center chain, that's saying that I can resize that whole thing uniformly. So it's much like the shift key on your computer. If I hold that down, everything is uniform when I resize. So let's go and let's take it bigger. So I can turn it right here, and I can make it bigger to fit that maxi hoop that I had. But if I didn't want the maxi hoop, and I was using just my oval hoop that comes with your machine, now you can see it's too big, so I need to take it in. Let's go back here, and I'll take it in. Until it fits. Once the red line goes away, now I know that fits. So I can go back out here. This is my mirror image, so I could touch it here and it's going to flip it. Or I can touch it here and it's going to bring it up or down. And take that off, clear that. And then here is a duplicate. So if you watch, I can touch that And now I actually have 2 of these. Let me get to this one. And you can see do you see how there's the 2 designs in there? So you might be doing a large piece and you want them in each corner, and that's the way that you can do that. So let's take that one of them out. Let's do this one. Right here is your garbage can. So all I have to do is touch that. It'll come up and it'll say, yeah, I want that out of there. But I also have another pumpkin here, and I want that out of there too. So I'm going to get rid of that. And now I have the same design that we had done. So now let's go ahead. If I want to make sure that everything fits okay, this is your check symbol. So touch that, and it's going to tell me again to put the hoop back on. And I can go, okay, it's on. Now I'm going to touch here's where I am in the upper left corner. I'm going to touch the upper right, making sure that it's fitting in, the lower right, and the left side right, and then back up. Now I can touch here and it will center it. I can also, at this point, if it didn't fit right where I wanted it, I can come in here and I can adjust this whole thing and move it to right where I want it to be. And then I can go, okay, we're gonna go back to the center, and now it's gonna start stitching. So that's our information knob with all of the different things that we can do. There's one more, and that's right here. And this deals with the density of a stitch. So if I make a stitch smaller, a pattern smaller, the thread, it doesn't compensate the thread. It won't take where you have less thread or more thread. It's whatever that design has been digitized as is the amount of thread that's in there. So that's the density of it. And I can go in here and I can literally change that density some if I need to. So remember that we don't want to size our design any lower than 25%, and usually about 20%. You can make it smaller 20 or larger 20. Anywhere after that, then you're getting into problems. So we can go out of there. And now we're going to go out of there, and we're going to get ready to stitch this out. So you can see how easy that was to add something to this design. We're going to go over a little bit more with the hooping. And so I have my stabilizers cut. Remember, we're going to loosen this knob really a lot. And I can kind of look in there and see just where that's good.